I think it's a dark stain on our political system here in the UK that families, hard-working men and women who bust their guts out for long hours each and every day to provide food on the table and a roof over themselves and their families, are having to depend on this government to give them handouts in order to help them survive the cost of living crisis and the ever-surging, skyrocketing price rises of food and energy bills. How the hell has it come to this? The United Kingdom is a highly evolved, democratic, free island, and we've been reduced to this. It's not just embarrassing, it's quite infuriating. And we are forever getting a colonial imperialistic past thrown into our faces by people who are quite willing to come here and feed off our generous milk and honey, and yet they still hate us for our past, our culture, our heritage and our pride, and especially our skin colour. There you go, I've said it. Critical race theory in the United States, which is a cancer that's spreading to the United Kingdom, is teaching people that white people are inherently racist simply because of our skin colour. It is teaching hatred, and now these people are hell-bent on making us pay for the advancement, not only for the wrongs of our ancestors, and yes, our ancestors did do some wrongs, but I myself am proud of the British Empire. It was the biggest empire the world had ever seen. It literally spanned the globe, and it took education, healthcare, medicine, and technological advancement to countries which helped them to better themselves, and in some cases allowed them to stand on their own 2 feet. But then again, it's only the British Empire that gets demonised these days. All the other ones get a free pass, don't they? And believe you me, they were far crueler. And so not only do these people want us to be psychologically, morally punished for the so-called crimes of the past, which is something we had absolutely nothing to do with, in the form of financial reparations, but now they want to punish us financially for so-called climate reparations. That's right, folks, because Britain had the audacity to advance herself technologically with the Industrial Revolution all those years ago, and the continued advancement of our own civilization, not to mention helping out financially the continued advancement of poorer nations' civilizations, we should now have to pay billions to these poorer countries because of the resulting so-called climate emergency. Yes, folks, they're blaming Britain and Britain alone for climate change. Of course, it matters not to these people. And when I say these people, I'm talking about greedy left-wingers out to destroy us and everything that we are and were, because they are consumed by hatred and in some cases self-loathing hatred. And this is yet another excuse. And sadly, our quite liberal parliament and the authorities here, those who govern us, they're willing to go along with this, because the imposter in Downing Street at the moment has just put forward a climate change package. Now, this is going to be billions of pounds of taxpayers' money. Taxpayers at the moment who are struggling to make ends meet. Taxpayers who at the moment are struggling to pay the heating bills, keep their homes warm for their own families, for themselves, and put food on the table. And I managed to get this from the Unity News Network's online channel. And so the imposter in Downing Street is going to give 11.6 billion for climate finance, 1.5 billion for Pakistan and Somalia, 65.5 million for Kenya and Egypt, 150 million to the Congo and the Amazon, 65.5 million clean energy innovation, and £3 billion to Nairobi's Railway City and hydropower project. And all that money, that's on top of the £14 billion the UK already dishes out in so-called foreign aid. Now, I don't remember voting for this, and I certainly don't agree with it. It would be morally wrong for anyone to agree for this money to leave our shores when the country is in the state that it's in. Now, all these countries have suffered climate disasters. Of that, I don't doubt, and it's quite obvious that's what's happened and what's continuing to happen. However, for them to blame the natural disasters they have suffered purely on Great Britain because of our industrial age is just utter complete bollocks. It's easy money for them. And they know they'll get it because climate emergency zealots in the top tiers of British society are spreading this fear like a cancer. And remember, these are the same people who loathe their own people, culture, history, etc. So it's not like they'll ever say no, is it? These people have no idea, they have no concept of the term charity starts at home. So how the hell can we help anyone else when our own house isn't in order? Our infrastructure, it's collapsing. Our social structure, it's collapsing. Our social services are literally on their knees. Left-wing politics is destroying this island and the countries within it. And they don't care that Britain is doing its utmost to be as green as it can, even imposing ridiculous, impossible net zero targets within just a short amount of years. They reckon the UK will run solely on solar and wind energy in the near future. But no highly advanced, developed nation can run exclusively on the elements. For a start, they don't produce enough energy, and it's highly, highly expensive. The Chinese have absolutely no plans to convert to cleaner energy anytime soon. If anything, they're building more nuclear power plants and digging more coal pits as we speak. And it's the same with the United States. Now, Great Britain can be as green as she likes, and say we did achieve net zero, then I guarantee you it'll be all for naught, simply because nations like India, China and the United States are not on board. And as long as they continue with their coal and nuclear-based industries, our spotless green net zero island will mean absolutely nothing. It'll make not one jot of difference to the climate, and I'll tell you this for free, they are quite willing to make our people, to make us suffer in order to get there. And I wonder if these underdeveloped nations who are the victims of climate catastrophes have actually asked the US, India and China for reparations. I bet they haven't, because they'll get told to fuck off, and rightly so. Anyway, that's me rant, that's my video, I hope you like. The YouTube algorithm currently doesn't like me talking about stuff like this, so it's not sharing my stuff, it's not notifying people, so I'd be grateful if you can do that for me. And if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. And that's that, so until the next time, look after yourselves, have a great day, and Roger Trout.